Got it.
All right, let's bring in former acting DHS Secretary Chad Wolf, Homeland Security and Immigration Chair at the American First Policy Institute. Chad, welcome to you. Good to have you back on the program. So here's Keith Ellison, the Minnesota Attorney General, in his own words on why he sued the Texas Governor, Greg Abbott. Listen.
Every governor in the country has a responsibility to honor the charges that someone might be facing in another state and to send them back there. Normally, these things happen quickly. You send your extradition warrant over to the other state, and the person is extradited back relatively quickly. We had to file this lawsuit in order to compel Governor Abbott to do his basic function as a governor of a state.
Chad, he went on to say Christian Castro has been charged with breaking the law in Minnesota. Castro is not above the law. Neither is Greg Abbott. So who's right? Who's wrong here? What should happen?
Well, look, I think Governor Abbott still has another week or so. I think he has 90 days to honor that extradition request by the state of Minnesota. But look, you have Keith Ellison here and you have Governor Walz here talking about, their duty and the duty of Governor Abbott. What they fail to do is talk about their duty to law enforcement and, of course, to their citizens and not honoring ICE detainers. And, of course, we went through that earlier this year. So I think a lot of this rings very hollow. I think Governor Abbott's probably also concerned, although he did not articulate this, about, is this case already decided in the state of Minnesota? We know that Governor Walz and Attorney General Ellison do not like ICE, do not like ICE officers. And so this idea of a free or a fair trial, I think, is perhaps in question. Although I will give them the benefit of the doubt. And then there's the question of whether this individual is released by the state of Texas. And I think it's very rich when I hear Governor Walz or Attorney General Ellison say, that they are very concerned that this individual will be released. So they're concerned about a law enforcement officer being released on bail, but they're not concerned about illegal aliens being released on bail in the state of Minnesota.
Understood. Well, here's Gene Hamilton, former Trump DHS official, on Ellison suing the Texas governor. Listen.
Notion that Keith Ellison is going to go out and make a video about this extradition request goes to show that he's just politicizing the entire thing. Keith Ellison is just on his grandstand trying to distract from the many real problems that the state of Minnesota has in its own borders, certainly with fraud and others are amongst them.
So to your point about this ringing hollow, is this just politics?
Well, I think it is. Obviously, their stance on ICE, their stance on not honoring ICE detainers and basically all of immigration is just that. It's a political stance more than it is about, public safety. And so I would agree with Gene about coming out and making a video of this. I think it plays into the politics of it more than anything else.
Okay. Finally, I want to end with the police chief, Kevin Davis, out of Fairfax County, top of the 1 o'clock hour, held a press conference on the killing of that 42-year-old mother. A 19-year-old suspect is now in custody, an illegal immigrant. Let's listen here.
No one deserves to be treated the way that our victim was treated, and she was stabbed repeatedly by our 19-year-old killer. So our condolences to the Pooch family and to Carmen's friends and loved ones. The way that she was treated by this killer was reprehensible, to say the least. So we do know that relationship existed.
So this 19-year-old man's been arrested. He is in custody, accused of killing this woman near Great Falls Trail. The police sheriff said that they have video of him leaving with this knife, a water bottle that he filled with gasoline, with his intention to light her on fire. Just a horrific story. I'll get your final thought on that.
Yeah, obviously heartbreaking. And this is what we talk about. This is what President Trump talks about. The worst of the worst, and making sure that we are apprehending and removing these dangerous illegal aliens. Any type of crime like this committed by someone here illegally is 100% preventable. But you've got to have good border policy, and you've got to have the ability to remove these individuals. And so that's what the Trump administration's doing. This should have never happened. And you have places like Fairfax County and others that have sanctuary policies. And so we're certainly going to have to follow this case, but that's the concern.
Got it. Chad, thank you for joining us on both of those stories. We're watching closely. Thank you. John?
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.